Hey everybody, it's Dave Burns of the Burns and Gambo Show. If you're going to ask me my favorite memory of the Arizona Coyotes, I'm going to think about my first ever whiteout that I went to. I'm going to think about Shane Doan's cell phone and how it never worked when he called in on the Burns and Gambo Show and all the laughs we used to get about that. But my favorite memory of the Coyotes is when it was announced that they were moving here. They put in a sheet of ice at America West Arena and they invited the fans to come down and just have an open skate on that ice, and they put the Stanley Cup right in the middle of that sheet of ice. So my wife and I, for about an hour, skated around the Stanley Cup, and we were so excited about a hockey team coming here. They had the merch store set up, so I got my first Coyotes jersey. I think about that day and that announcement, and it makes me smile.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here with Vince Marotta, sharing some of our favorite memories of the Coyotes, who are no longer going to be part of our Valley scene. My favorite memory, way back in the day, I shot a television commercial with Shane Doan, and in that television commercial, he was supposed to be sick of me and all the things I had been writing in the newspaper, so he kind of beat me up, and then they had a dummy that they threw over the boards into the crowd. When they played this commercial inside the arena, everybody went nuts because they saw a replica of me being thrown into the stands, right?
I vaguely remember that commercial.
Yeah. But really, for me, the one thing I'll always remember was it was the middle of May 2012. It was the only time the Coyotes made an extended playoff run, broadcasting outside of the arena. Gary Bettman walked by, saw us, turned around, sat back down for an interview because he knew that he was the guy that made it possible for this team to be here, then getting off the radio and walking in on a 106-degree day into a freezing cold hockey rink for a playoff game. Doesn't get any better than that, and unfortunately, we never got enough of that.
Yeah, my favorite memory is that same time period, May 2012. It was during that extended playoff run for the Coyotes. They beat Chicago in the first round. Getting to be in that environment, Game 5, when they closed out Nashville to go to the Western Conference Finals, was something I will never forget. It was wall-to-wall, white, head to toe, and that was at a time, Bick, if you remember, it was very, very stressful for the Coyotes because they were owned by the NHL. It was a very tenuous time. They were already dealing with ownership issues at that point. So for them to overcome that and make that run, I thought it was the start of something big. They lose to the Kings, and that was it. 28 years, one playoff run. Still very special at that time because I thought that was really the crowning of Phoenix becoming a hockey town. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, but it's still a good memory.
So in closing, a tip of the cap to Shane Doan and Jeremy Roenick, Keith Tkachuk, Sean Burke, Dallas Drake, all the guys, and all the great Coyote fans who made all those great memories possible. Too bad there weren't more of them.
Yeah, exactly. Well said, Bick.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron Wolfley of Arizona Sports 98.7 FM, The Wolf and Luke Show, 10 to 2, of course. Check it out. My memory of the Arizona Coyotes, to me, what is my one lingering memory? Well, I've got to go back to Buffalo, New York, where I grew up a massive Buffalo Sabres fan and loved hockey. It was a great thing. It was the only thing in town. Football with the Buffalo Bills and hockey with the Buffalo Sabres. No goaltender had ever scored a goal in a game in the NHL while I was growing up until 1979. Billy Smith, the legendary Billy Smith of the Islanders, their goaltender scored a goal. First goal ever scored by a goalie in 1979. Well, my memory of the Coyotes, it was when Mike Smith, Smitty, the great goaltender for the Coyotes, scored a goal. It was October 19th, I believe, 2013. They were playing the Detroit Red Wings. There was a shot on goal. Mere seconds left in the game. Smitty made the save, flipped the puck down the ice because he was great with his stick. He was known for that. Scored a goal with .1 on the clock. Scored a goal, and it counted. The Coyotes won 5-2. That's a personal memory right there because of my fascination with a goaltender scoring a goal and the fact that it happened right here with Mike Smith.
My favorite memory of the Coyotes was the early years. They had star power. Keith Tkachuk, Jeremy Roenick, Dallas Drake, Teppo Newman, and Nikolai Khabibulin. It was a great time to be a Coyote fan. They had been to the playoffs 5 years in a row, but my favorite memory of those 5 years was the 1998-99 season. That was the team. That was the Suns when Amari and Boris stepped off the court and they were supposed to win it that year. That was the year I thought the Coyotes had their best team and that they were going to win the Stanley Cup. They got up 3-1 on the Blues in the first round. Then they lost Game 5. Then they lost Game 6. And then Game 7 was 0-0, goes to overtime. Khabibulin, Grant Fuhr, and that stinking Pierre Turgeon scores the goal. The Blues win Game 7, 1-0 in overtime. And that ended the Coyote season. But that was a great year, and that's my fondest memory of being a Coyote fan.
My favorite Coyotes memory, there's quite a few to choose from. There's a lot. The Western Conference Finals, a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, just the people I work with here, the fans interacting with them. But if you're looking for one specific moment, it's got to be Shane Doan's first career hat trick. It took him 1,161 games. He had knocked on the door of a hat trick quite a few times. He obviously had a tremendous career up to that point. But he finally got his hat trick January of 2012, and the way he got it, scoring with less than a second left, which is not something that happens in hockey. There are not buzzer beaters typically in hockey. But he got it against the Islanders. His teammates and his fellow line mates wouldn't even let him off the ice. He was trying to change at the end of the game. He was just going to be done with 40 seconds left or whatever. They wouldn't let him off the ice. They kept feeding him passes. It wasn't an empty netter or anything. It was, full strength, full go, 5-on-5. But he gets the hat trick there at the end, and the place just erupted out in Glendale at the time. And I can't even tell you how many people I still talk to now that say they were at that game, or certainly say they remember where they were for that moment. It was a cool moment regardless of who it was, but the fact that it was Shane Doan, it's iconic when you look at Coyotes history.